A couple of days ago, I watched a video called I'm Not Sorry by a YouTube commentator named D'Angelo Wallace. The video was basically about his whole Twitter battle with a fellow YouTube commentator by the name of Turkey Tom. You probably heard of this channel. And basically, this whole controversy stemmed when D'Angelo Wallace watched Turkey Tom's latest video, which is about YouTube sponsors, and basically the video had quite a few tasteless anti-Semitic jokes, and D'Angelo took issue with this, and then he called Turkey Tom, rightfully, out for this on Twitter. And oof, boy, shit snowballed from there. D'Angelo then shared a screenshot of some bigoted Turkey Tom fans in the comment section to his latest video. Then he showed some screenshots of Turkey Tom spouting out racial slurs and making more tasteless anti-Semitic jokes in DMs. And then he showed some exchanges between more bigoted Turkey Tom fans. And then, obviously, the whole situation escalated even further after that. And basically, it caused a whole firestorm on Twitter between D'Angelo's fans, Turkey Tom fans, and I've seen so many people on Twitter and even make videos defending Turkey Tom and saying that he was making a joke. He's not a bigot at all. He's a minor. Why are you, a grown adult, picking on a minor? Well, for one, Tom is 17, 1 year away from being a legal fucking adult. I mean, Jesus Christ, some of you people are acting like the guy was picking on a fucking 11-year-old. And two, yes, he's a bigot. Maybe not knowingly a bigot, but when you spout racial slurs and homophobic slurs or any other highly offensive slur at the expense of a certain marginalized group, I do believe you're a bigot, whether you intend to be one or not, because when you do that under the guise of it's just a joke, bro, you are unintentionally or intentionally in some cases promoting the idea of, hey, it's okay to pick on these groups of people because you're not being a bigot whatsoever. It's perfectly okay because it's just a joke. If they get really offended over the stupid jokes that you're spewing out, well then that's on them for being triggered little snowflake SJWs. And I am very, very familiar with this kind of mentality because this was me up until just a few months ago. I used to relish in this kind of edgy humor, spout racial slurs, homophobic slurs, any other very highly offensive slur under the sun, and I also would be like, oh, it's just a joke whenever someone would get offended by it. I was like this both online and in real life, and then I was wondering why exactly it was that certain people didn't want to be around me. Certain people thought I was an asshole, and I used to just brush them off as they're just snowflakes. They can't handle a joke. But no, shit like that can really hurt people, and I was unintentionally spreading the message that it's a-okay to pick on these people. It's a-okay to make jokes at the expense of these people because it's just a joke, and they should just get the fuck over it because we're just joking around. We don't actually mean it. And it seems like Tom has yet to grow out of this mentality because he still finds this shit to be like the funniest thing in the world. And can someone like explain to me what exactly is so funny about these slurs? What exactly is so funny about saying these slurs with absolutely no context whatsoever? There's not even an actual joke, no point you're proving, nothing. You're just saying a highly offensive slur under the guise of, oh, it's just offensive, edgy humor, that's all. Where the fuck is the humor in that? Oh, I said the N-word. Laugh at me, I'm such a comedic genius. Not. And isn't this kind of sort of the reaction you wanted anyway? I mean, you relish in this kind of dark, edgy humor. I can't even really call it humor, just stupidity, I guess, whatever you want to call it. But you make these kind of quote unquote jokes to, I guess, offend people. And then when you get that reaction, when you get people offended over these kind of jokes, you're like, oh, why are you picking on me? And then you also have your sycophantic fans. Why are you picking on him? He's just joking around. Like, isn't this the kind of reaction that you want? When you relish in this kind of quote unquote humor, you attract the worst kind of people, the actual bigots, because you created a space for them where it's okay to say these kind of words. It's okay to discriminate against certain marginalized groups as long as they say, oh, they're just joking. Meanwhile, those quote unquote jokes that they're cracking is actually reflective of what they really think about these certain groups of people. And when you call them out for it, when you call them out on being a bigot, they're just gonna be like, oh, it's just a joke. Why are you getting so offended, bro? It's really scary how this kind of mentality is on the rise. Be as bigoted and discriminatory as possible, and then just masquerade it as a joke to deflect any criticism whatsoever. This is exactly my problem with this quote unquote edgy humor that's so prevalent on the internet these days. and these kind of content creators like Turkey Tom, who have sizable followings, or even content creators like iDubbbz with massive followings, promoting the idea that it's okay to say these words as long as it's just a joke, and promoting the idea that if people get offended by it, well, they're just crybaby SJWs. And this in turn prompts actual bigots to be, well, bigots, and cloak their hatefulness as just one big joke whenever they're rightfully called out for this. And so anyways, fuck Turkey Tom and fuck all the people defending him. And you know what? You watching this video, if you relish in this kind of humor, if you think just spouting out racial slurs or any other kind of highly offensive slur under the sun with really no context and no actual joke is comedy gold, fuck you. I want nothing to do with you. I hate you. Feel free to unsub, never talk to me again, never watch me again. No, seriously, I would really prefer it if you actually do that. Bigotry is bigotry, whether you try to mask it as a joke or not, plain and simple. That's all I have to say. Bye-bye.